Oh, yeah, that was a real mover. Chuck Berry. Hey, by the way, Chuck Berry is coming to the Riviera Theater in 3 weeks. Tell you more about it later. You can
He
get
always
that
had a youthful kind of verve. He always sounded younger than he was, and he had that effervescence to his voice. He would get you excited.
Road for the best in pop tune favorites.
He could listen to a record and say, this guy's going to be great, or this gal's going to be great.
I had a good music sense. Let me put it to you that way.
No, he definitely had an ear. Occasionally he'd be wrong, but not very often.
He always was good at picking out who was going to be good and who wasn't. But we always laugh because he couldn't have been that great, because when he heard Elvis Presley, he said, this guy's going to bomb. And so that was not the case.
I mean, the records we were playing, I mean, I'll give you an idea. I don't even know what happened to it. I remember playing a record by an artist called Bull Moose Jackson.
I love you, yes, I do.
And probably the first record by a black person that was ever played on a radio station in Detroit, other than, I think, the only other station there that was WHITALL. But I dug it. It was a sound.
He knew you liked the song. It didn't matter, you know, what color their skin was to groove on the music.
To be able to shift beyond what they were playing in those days, the Frank Sinatras and the Tony Bennettts, and to move that into, it was called race music at the time. It was black artists, and they're on the radio. Oh my goodness, this is unheard of.
Here's a young man having a ball, Little Willie John from our City of Wheels, to do his big moving hit, Fever.
I would go in to play a Johnny Cash, and then we'd play a Little Richard. Nobody ever heard of him. Dearborn Station, playing Little Richard records.
That was, during those times, kind of a bold move.
So he was getting R&B in. He was slipping it in before any other disc jockey in Detroit, really. That was just a revolutionary thing to do, and an incredible gift to the listeners of Detroit. It really started to become more and more common. And as rock and roll came in, he was the guy.
Fred North, he used to get a lot of flack when he'd go down to the DAC, the Detroit Athletic Club. These guys would say, hey, I hear those black records all the time that are being played on your station. Now, what's going on, Fred? He would come back to me and say, Robin, could you sort of lighten up a little bit? He didn't care, but he was a little bit, felt funny about that. You know, these good old straight-laced white dudes down at the DAC really tried to give him the knife, you know. Fred, to his feeling, would say, you know, this is making us money. Obviously, this is what people want to hear. So go for it, kiddo. Go for it.
That's one of today's top tunes, Little Richard and Tutti Frutti.
He felt real close to the audience. So, you know, I also think that he was one of the first guys to really want the opinion of the kids.
You know, every afternoon we take the flyer of the day, Robin's flyer of the day, we think is going to go on to become a great big hit. Why do fools fall in love?
Kids would come up and sit there on the floor in the other studio, and they dance and do their homework.
You know, the thing that Robin was able to do, he was able to gain the trust of his audience.
Why do fools fall in love?
And that's a very hard thing to do and a very delicate thing to keep. But once you get it, you can lead your audience to places that maybe they don't even want to go or they don't even know about.
You picked out your own records. You either stood or fell on what you could bring to the audience. And I was young enough to be close enough to the teenage kids to still be thinking like them.